I'm very well, and I can see you got these on,
I
and I can hear you
do.
careful. The planets have aligned, and here we are.
Thank you so much.
Let me just tune into your energy, and let me see who's stepping forward for you. I've got a female energy here who it's a younger female energy. Um, do you have a sister that's passed?
My mother had a miscarriage, and
Your
we don't
mother.
know if it was a male or a female.
Okay, that's
This
not
is not the
usually
first time.
okay. It's not usually the first person to step. That's not usually the first person to step forward. So let me just tune in into that a little bit. Um, so is Mum still with you?
Yes, she is.
Okay. So has Mum's mum passed?
Yes, she has.
Okay. So that's who it would be, and she's pointing to her head. So I'm
Okay.
not sure. I'm not sure whether she had a stroke or an aneurysm, or whether that could even be dementia. But that's what she's pointing to.
She had dementia.
Okay. Um, and as I was talking to you, she actually made it quite difficult for me to speak. So did she become non-verbal towards the end? Did she stop talking, or
No, she actually jumped at my son the last day, like the same time that she passed. It was only hours before she had a massive heart attack.
say that she jumped
She
at
had a
your son?
massive, yeah, she just tried to like kind of like that boo to scare him. She was
Okay,
so playful with him. He was only 8 months.
right. And she's showing me a musical instrument. Who played a musical instrument, like a piano or?
I know like my brother and I believe it was my uncle, they all played like guitar, like they always kind of played different musical instruments, but nobody really stuck
Okay,
to it.
okay. Was she a musical person at all? I'm just wondering why she's showing me
She
that. That's all.
loved she loved her music.
Okay,
She always played Dolly Parton.
okay, that's cute. That's cute. She's talking to me about a move that's either just passed or just coming up for. I'm not. I don't feel like it's for you. I feel like somebody in the family is moving, like they're moving house, but I don't feel
My
like it's you.
my mother's been talking about building a house.
Okay, because she's okay. So she's talking about she's kind of hang on. Let me just turn this music down because it's a little bit loud for me. She's kind of making me feel like um, the the circumstances right now for her, like it's like she's got so many things going on,
She
and
does.
it's like it's not now is not the time to do that. She actually needs to start. But does she look after grandkids? Because
She
that's
looks
what
after my kids.
okay,
She
because
does.
that's what she's making me feel like she's so busy and so overwhelmed that she doesn't need to add anything on to her plate just yet. Now is not the
I
time for
totally
that.
agree.
Um, see, do you know, mum, your grandma's making me feel like mum. How beautiful is it that her mum's stepping forward? Because like mums are so like, that's my baby, that's my baby, and I want to talk about my baby. She's
I'm
making me
kind of
feel like,
surprised.
yeah, right, okay,
I
okay.
am.
Woo, that makes sense to me. She's shown me a couple of different things, but I try and be respectful that this is live. So she's making me feel like your mum is not speaking up about help that she requires. Like I
I
feel
don't
like
think she is.
she needs help around the house. I feel like she needs help around like the gardening. I feel like it's sort of like
She
she needs
does.
help. Yeah,
She
that's
hires
what
a lot
grandma's,
of people to do it.
and she's making me feel like finances are tight, and she's would really like to speak up for help, but she's not doing that. So that's
I keep telling her to speak up about it. I do.
that, and grandma's sort of that's what she's really highlighting to you, and the reason she's highlighting that to you is because of how it's causing her a lot of burden. Like she wants her home to be a certain way, and
Yeah.
it's not. And when it's not, it actually makes her feel not so very good. Does that make
I'm the
sense?
same way. Yes, I'm
Okay.
the same way.
So because it's causing her, like, somebody else would be like, so what, the house needs a little bit of fixing,
Yep.
but to her it means a lot. To her it's
Okay.
overwhelming her. And just have a little bit of a chat to her about that. Um, do you have a question for me that I can point my attention to?
Um, to be honest, my brother both and my father committed suicide. I just, I don't know if they're together, if they're both happy. That's all I want to know.
Um, okay. Did your okay? Give me a minute. Did your brother? Sorry, he's overwhelming me a little bit. Your brother's stepping forward. He's overwhelming me a little bit.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. It could even be you're overwhelmed, but empathically, I'm picking up a lot of emotions. A lot of he's talking a little bit about conflict that happened just before the time he passed. He's also bringing a reference to drugs or taking prescription medication. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, yeah.
And he's basically trying to give me all this information. Before I carry on, I want you to know he's fine. He's 100% fine. He's telling me that he was so depressed that his mind wasn't functioning like yours and mine. Okay.
I do believe that.
And he's also making me feel like, had he known, did he have a son?
No, he looked at my kids as his kids.
Okay, because he's referring to especially a little boy. Oh, he's also making me feel dizzy. I'm just trying to pick up what that is in reference to. He's saying that had he known what was going to come of this, he wouldn't have done it. And he's also making me feel like he was told to get some help, but he never,
He
ever,
was.
ever, ever did, ever, ever, nor could he even fathom to get that help. And he's talking about the freedom that he is experiencing right now. And that's freedom that he didn't have. Did he go before Dad, or did Dad go before
He
him?
went before.
Yeah, and because that's what he's
He went on Thanksgiving weekend, and my father went on Christmas Day.
I'm so sorry, darling. I'm so sorry. That is just too much to take for
It
one
has been.
person. Did Dad have mental health illness? Because he's making me feel like he had,
Yeah.
not like depression. He's making me feel like he had either schizophrenia or borderline personality disorder or something like that.
My brother was diagnosed with border personality.
Okay.
My father, he was just not mentally there.
Okay.
I don't think he was ever diagnosed with anything.
Okay, because Dad's making me feel like that he had something. It wasn't just depression. His thinking wasn't straight. His thinking wasn't like somebody who has their mind grounded and in this dimension. Dad's also making me, oh geez, he's making me feel like he's apologizing for how, and I'm going to use his word, dramatic his exit was. Dad's exit was quite over the top.
He was always dramatic.
Yeah, and so that's what he's saying. I'm apologizing for how dramatic my exit was. He's okay. So the way I receive information is in terms of a feeling, and I'm trying to find the words for the feeling he's given me. he's admitting responsibility for it, but he's also saying that some of that responsibility actually goes to the way his brain was functioning. Okay, so he wants you to understand that he is taking responsibility for ending his life, but he's also wanting you to know that a lot of that catapulted him to act in a way. Was he living on his own?
He was living with my brother.
He was living, oh God. Okay, because he was telling me about living on his own, which means that when your brother passed, he was on his own. Do you know, did they used to drink together? Because they're showing me that
all
they're
the
drinking.
time. So unhealthy. Why?
Because they're showing me that they're drinking together. They're just sitting around drinking.
That could cause trouble. That could cause big trouble.
Over there, it's okay. Over where they are, it's okay.
Well, that's a good thing.
So basically, their reference was just letting you know we're together and we're doing the stuff that we were doing before, but in a healthy manner.
Well, that's a good thing.
They're also talking about one of your kids transition. How old are your children? Because they're making me feel like one's transitioning either from like one school to the next or from like a primary school.
I was actually just talking about transferring my son, which he's 5, and my daughter's 3.
And they're saying that is a good idea. We would encourage that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple of layers to that. I don't want to peel them back here, but the message is that's the best thing for right now.
I'm butting heads with this school big time right now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and he's as I tune into that, your son is kind of watching you for how to respond and react. I want you to calm yourself.
Okay.
Get into a bit of a Zen place. Get into a thinking straight, non-emotional place when you're communicating. Because Dad's telling me that he looks to you, your son looks to you as to how to be. And when you're overwhelmed and upset and angry or frustrated, that's what he's seeing. And so therefore he's following you. And kids do it in the most silly way. Like I've got 2 children around that age, and you know, like I'll be angry and then they'll do something just the same, but in a more ridiculous manner. And you think to yourself, are you serious? Yes, I can see that that's me, but why would you do that? And that's what's going on here. Just be careful of this little one, because he's watching you and he's looking to you to how to behave and how to respond. And so you've got to be a little bit more calculated.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, my darling, I wish you all the very, very best. I'm so pleased that I could bring your brother and your dad.
I am so happy. Thank you. Thank you very much.
God bless you and have a really, really lovely night. Bye,
You
Janie.
too. Bye.
Bye.